A lot of news and rumors to cover in today's show, and I'm super, super excited to get into it because it's actual news, actual rumors. You can tell that the NFL season is getting closer because now we're getting actual substance. So in today's show, we're going to be talking about the 2026 cap space. It was a little bit released information on that. We're going to get into that. Should the Detroit Lions sign Jaire Alexander? We'll go through the good and the bad on this one. ZaDarius Smith speaks. Could we have a return? It makes today's video a good video. Some good rumors here. Hendon Hooker, we'll get into that. And Lions-Browns trade review. And we're going to go over the heavy.com with that one and give you my thoughts. But before we get into today's video, if you enjoy eating food, you want to subscribe to the channel. Why is that? Because it is a known fact that if you watch my YouTube channel, the food will make you feel much better and it tastes better. Let's get into today's show. As it stands right now, the Lions currently are projected to have $54.378 million in 2026 salary cap space per over the cap. The numbers rank last among the entire NFL in terms of total cap space in 2026. Based on over the cap estimate of the salary cap being $295 million with under $350 million set to be on the books in terms of the team's spending, Detroit will have some creativity in how it handles the situation. Chris Brewer continues to go on. It says Detroit is in a unique spot as they currently have $40 million in cap space heading into the 2025 season. As a result, the organization would benefit from saving a large chunk of having to roll over into next season as insurance. And I concur with this idea of saving some money from this year into next year. I know we got some money for Frank Ragnar. I know we got a lot of money right now, but I think it's extremely important to be fiscally responsible. Now, with Frank Ragnar retiring, it's going to help the Lions out. As you know, you lose a bigger contract, so it's going to help out. So, personally, I'm not concerned about the Lions cap space going forward, but are you concerned for the Lions cap space? C, if you're concerned. B, no, we have a Holmes. Let's continue on and talk about a player that was released by the Green Bay Packers, and that is Jaire Alexander. And I tell you what, Mike Payton from A to Z Sports, and there's a lovers. I'm sure you've all heard it. Covered that the Lions should go ahead and sign Jaire Alexander. Well, Packers beat writer Wendell Feria put in a list of 10 teams that he sees the best fits for Alexander. And now that he is in the open market, the Lions are one of those teams. The specific reason Feria went on with this is any NFC North team that is likely to be interested in him, as it seems to happen frequently in the division. Guys play like teams like ZaDarius Smith, for example, who played for Lions, Packers, and Vikings. Payton continue to go on. He says, let's start with our thoughts here. Do the Lions have the money to make the move? Yes, they do. Alexander is 28 years old. He's not going to be a gamer very much contract. He's missed significant amount of time in the last 4 seasons. He's played 4 games in 21 and 7 in 23 and 7 in 24. With that in mind, any deal he's likely to get is probably going to be short, where the burden of proof that he can still play not hurt on him. Maybe something of a 1-year deal, $5 million worth. Now, what has Jaire Alexander done throughout his tenure? You know, we think about what he has accomplished. Well, he's 5'10", 196 pounds, 28 years old. Played obviously with the Packers. Yeah, he's 28 and young, right? But he is beat up. He has been injured a lot, and that's one of the reasons why they released him on his contract. Last year, only had 15 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, 7 pass defense. He's a game maker. He's a game wrecker. He's a game changer. He is a heck of a player. But the problem for me is I would love to have him on the addition, but don't you think that Jaire Alexander would probably want to go to a team where he'd get more playing time? Because if you look at the Lions secondary right now, it's pretty solid. Ennis Rakestraw, Meek Robertson, Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. They got some young developmental players in there. It's hard for me to think that the Lions would do this. Well, I mean, I think we would all like it. There's nothing wrong to have more talent in this team. If it was a $1 million, $5 million deal, 1 year, $5 million deal, I think that would be amazing, right? That said, I think he would probably prefer to go to a team where he's going to have more playing time. But again, maybe that's not the case. He is banged up. He has been injured. His body is tore up. We all know what it's like, so maybe he wouldn't mind being a rotational player or something of that nature. I don't know the situation on this one, but it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let's continue on here because Za'Darius Smith spoke, and this is why I'm happy about this video. It says, we both know where we want to be. Smith told USA Today Sports at the 2025 BET Awards. Hopefully I can get back to Detroit because the coaching staff and everybody in the front office are great. When I'm there, I feel like a leader, and I can influence the young guys and do great things. Hopefully I can get back to where I want to be in Detroit. I'm still a veteran. He's still a young player. I can have him with a lot of things. He's already great, but as a player, there's some tools that I know I can help him with. Smith said, there's some things a young guy can help with me with. Yes. Yes, why put good on my thumbnail? To hear from Za'Darius Smith wanting to come back to the Detroit Lions. He said there's mutual interest. Yes, yes, and more yes. We lost Frank Ragnow. It's been a rough off season, right? We didn't have the best off season, right? We've had some ups and some downs. It seems like more downs, especially the capping with the Frank Ragnow there. But when it comes to having Za'Darius Smith on this football team, having a mutual interest, it's a positive sign. I like the players we got, but I would like to have a little bit more help. And I think Smith can do that 100%. He can, just like you can subscribe to the channel. If you like eating food, folks, if you love food, it tastes better when you subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the next article. We're talking about Hendon Hooker here from Easy Sports. It all over. It says, will the Lions quarterback enter OTAs with his name being floated around in trade rumors? While he's received an opportunity to prove himself, he couldn't do enough to take himself off the block. He set up an interesting training camp and potentially a surprising trade as Detroit gets ready for the new year. The trade rumor for Hendon Hooker has been going on all season. It's been going on for years now, seems like. But this would be the year. And he has not developed from what we're hearing. He does not have a great OTAs. He did it. I'm a fan of Hendon Hooker, but he's got to develop, right? And I trust the coaching staff that they're giving him the best chance to succeed. But he's got to go out there and prove it. And he's got time. Got training camp coming up. But if him or Kyle Allen cannot really secure that backup spot and there's not much growth, it makes you wonder about the future because the Lions are in a spot right now where they're wanting to win now, even though we just lost Frank Ragnow to retirement. But they want to win a Super Bowl, guys. Like, this is clear as day. Everyone is talking about it. They want to win a Super Bowl. And if there is an injury to Jared Goff, that's going to really hurt that situation right there. It's going to hurt it. Still, I'm behind Hen Hooker. I think he will take the number 2 job. That is my thought process. He had it last year, going into the season before we decided to bring back Teddy Bridgewater at the end of the season for the playoff run. So I'm going to assume he's better now than he was last year at this time. Does he need development? Yes, but if he won the job last year, and I don't see Kyle Allen overtaking him. I mean, we could talk about a potential, and we're going to get in the next subject here, is a crazy trade rumor that I'm not saying would occur, but it's in situation with that team could affect the Lions. So let's go ahead and jump into the next subject here, and that is a wild, crazy trade rumor that went on Heavy.com. Now, I don't believe this trade rumor, but it's kind of transitioning what we just talked about, so that's why I wanted to bring it up for this video. They're talking here from Ann Erickson, talking about the pitch is that the Lions get Sanders and the Browns get Hooker and a 2026 fifth-round pick. The Lions have a plethora of picks lined up in 2026, so losing a fifth round shouldn't hurt too much. They would still have their coveted first, second-round picks, plus the Browns have a huge quarterback room, so it'd be better fit for Hooker, who seems needs time to develop. So they're talking about the Lions trading for Shedeur Sanders. Folks, I don't see this happening one bit. At all. I don't see the Lions trading for Shedeur Sanders. That doesn't make a lot of sense at all. I know that the people love talking about it, but I don't see that at all. He does not fit at all of what the Detroit is about. Shedeur Sanders is all. But there's a lot of quarterbacks in their quarterback room. And so subscribe to the channel if you like to eat food. Do that right now before the video blackens out as the new YouTube thing goes. Go ahead and do that. But they have a lot of quarterbacks in the room, so this is a situation where one of these guys may get released, one or two, from the Cleveland Browns. They have a ton, and they're not going to have all these quarterbacks over there. They got two rookies. They got veteran Joe Flacco, another Kenny Pickett. Well, you know, they're all not going to be on this team. So maybe if Hendon Hooker doesn't work out and other teams like a Cleveland Browns, they release a quarterback who maybe has a higher ability right now, who's better than Hendon Hooker that they can bring in. But I don't see a situation, zero situation, where the Detroit Lions are trading for Shedeur Sanders. The Shedeur Sanders can only get traded to Mel Kiper Jr. at this point. And I don't even know. Maybe Dart's not even – I don't know the situation over there. I heard that Sanders is doing pretty good and compared to Dart or whoever they get, you know, whatever quarterback situation is going on there. But he's not a fit for Detroit. There's a reason why Detroit passed on him and kept passing on him, And they'll pass on him again. He's not a Detroit Lion at all. Like that is the diva mentality here. Doesn't exist. It's all about grit. It's all about mentality. It's all hardcore. That's not the case with that situation going on. It's just simply not the case. Folks, we're dropping videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You want to hit that notification bell as we're getting closer to July training camp and then preseason. Man, it's coming close, folks. With that said, adios.